https://discord.gg/flat-earth.
Welcome to 24/7 Flat Earth Discord channel. Be sure to go to VC Check and 1 to get your VC verification tags to get involved in the conversation about our Earth. Be sure to bring your verifiable Earth curvature evidence, though.
Enemy spotted.
24/7 God Globe Evidence Fishing Part 4.
You know what I mean, mate?
I measured the temperature of the moonlight last night with my laser.
Yeah. What was
It's
it?
colder. It's colder in the moonlight than it is in the moon shade.
Did you record that?
Yeah, it didn't come out very well because it was so dark, but on my actual recording, it's fine. But when I put it into YouTube, the compression just darkens it so much you can't see it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna reshoot it with my P900 tonight, as long as I can see the moon, and record that. Now what I want to try is different phases of the moon. Is it colder, and is there a bigger difference?
Good evening, whoever came into the room. Welcome.
What's up?
That's just crazy that
How you
happens.
doing, bro? How you doing, brother? Are you alright?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So, what brings you to the Flat Earth part of the server? Any particular
Oh, I was-
reason? I mean,
I
you've
was
been
just
looking at
curious.
Flat Earth, or is it quite new to you, I take it? You never actually spoke to a Flat Earther by any chance?
Oh no, I have. I was just curious if there was a debate going on in here or not.
Yeah, well, that's where I came. Well, we found out, bro, that you could make your own rooms in here. And I used to have mod permissions in here a couple of years ago, but we stopped coming over and we got them taken back off us. Came over and I saw the bot. You can make your own room with any subject, and you've got permissions while you're in the room as well. I was like amazed. I was like, holy fuck!
Yep.
So we came over here, and the past few days we've been in here, man. Like yesterday, me and Radwin sat. Me and what's his name, Heretic. We sat in here literally for like 15 hours, man. Crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lots of good discussions.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, what do you think yourself? I take it you believe the Earth currently is a spinning space ball, like the official narrative sort of that we all got taught for school. I take it you've no reason to doubt that.
Spinning Spaceball is a little simple, but yeah, sure. If you wanna.
Simple.
Sure, I do believe the Earth is spherical. Yeah.
Well, bro, I mean, what makes you think that in reality? I mean, would you not agree that you personally experience a flat, stationary Earth? Would you not agree that?
Well,
When I
what do
say
you mean
flat,
experience?
I mean,
Like what? From what I observed, the Earth is
well,
flat.
bro, when I say flat, I mean we've never seen curve, and when I say stationary, I mean we've never experienced motion. Would you agree that's the case?
We do not feel the Earth moving.
Right.
No.
So
That's
would you
true.
agree that the Earth appears to be flat and stationary?
Just in general, like when I walk outside, yes, I would agree with you that the Earth
Right.
looks flat.
Not and stationary. The question was,
Yeah, sure. It doesn't look stationary.
but you've done so well, bro. Don't backtrack. You've done better than most Globers because most cannot admit it, bro. They go, you say the experience of
Oh
flat
yeah,
station.
well obviously, yeah, we don't walk outside and see curvature and look up in the sky and see us like
Bro, most
skyrocketing through space.
I'm talking like 9 3/4 people out of 10 say when you ask them, do you experience a flat stationary Earth? They say no, and you say, well, have you seen curvature? They say no, and I'm like, have you felt or experienced any motion? They say no. I'm like, so is the Earth appears to be flat and stationary? They're like, no. I'm like, man, how can you answer it like that and still stick to your guns?
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
you're being
mental
dishonest
block.
if you think that you experience curvature.
How?
No, it's
No, I'm saying, have you seen curvature or experienced motion?
right. Yeah. No, you're
Right,
being
so
dishonest if you think that. Yeah.
how's that dishonest?
Huh? No, I'm
How's
saying
that
you're right.
dishonest?
If someone says, "Oh yeah, I experienced the curvature," they're being
Well, I mean, that's kind of an experience, seeing something, bro. So technically, you could say that it is really. And seeing something and experiencing it, man. But anyway, so, like, if you agree that we don't experience motion, we don't see any curvature, so you agree that the Earth appears, at least just appears, to be flat and stationary. So what makes you doubt that it actually is?
I think the globe Earth is the best model so far for the observations that we can make.
Which model do you think we're using? Because we don't use models, bro. Eh?
When I say model, I mean explanation, as in the.
But so
It's
you think,
the round Earth is the best explanation for what we can observe.
bro, you think that it's a better explanation than completely stationary, relatively flat, apart from topography, Earth? You think it's more believable or more like
Yes.
clarifies the reality? What, mate? You think seriously that it's a better answer that you're barreling in multiple vectors at millions of miles per hour through a fucking vacuum without any containment? You think that's a better answer?
Yes, that is a better answer than a flat Earth. Yes,
bro.
There is no model to date that explains everything we see.
You don't. The globe does not explain everything, right? You tell me, right? What is a lunar eclipse? Do you know the difference between a lunar and solar eclipse?
Yes.
Right. So, what would have to be the case for the lunar eclipse to happen for a supposed shadow to be cast upwards onto the lunar surface? What would have to be the case for that?
What do you mean upwards?
Well, yeah, there has to be a syzygy. That's what it's called, where the sun, the earth, then the moon are in a form of alignment that allows the shadow or supposed shadow to be cast upwards onto the lunar surface. So if you're standing on the earth,
you keep saying upwards. It doesn't require a direction. It just requires alignment.
No, I'm telling you, bro. If you're standing right, I'm standing, and for somehow I was able to precisely stand directly smack bang under the moon, right? And I saw the sun and the moon both above the horizon at the same time. Would a lunar eclipse be possible?
No, because then it wouldn't. From your position, it's not aligned.
Exactly, that's syzygy I was talking about. So how come we do have lunar eclipses in the daytime?
What are you talking about in the daytime? Okay,
Are
you
the
confusing a lunar eclipse with a solar eclipse?
No. The sun and the moon simultaneously above the horizon during a lunar eclipse. It's called the selenium, and it's dubbed the impossible eclipse because it's impossible on the model that you believe. So you claiming that the globe Earth answers everything precisely. The selenium eclipse destroys the globe model completely, man. And not just that, I mean, the only answer any globers ever got is refraction. So I've got to believe that really the sun is underneath me, below and blocked between the earth and me. So I've got to accept that the sun's actually underneath me, but it's really above the horizon and visible during this eclipse. And the shadow, even if we give you refraction, even if I say, right, I'll accept that the sun's actually underneath me, but it's really above my head. So how come the shadow, or supposed shadow, travels from the top and works its way down?
So you have heard an explanation for a selenium, right? Which is
no, the only thing they can claim is for the the light body to be above your head, your fucking horizon, would be refraction. But it doesn't. I said, I'll give you that. I'll just give you it. But what is it? How come the shadow's not? How come the shadow doesn't travel the way it should? It's geometrically inverted.
What shadow?
What you claim is the shadow during the eclipse, bro.
During your lunar eclipse, you claim the shadow of the Earth is on the moon, when, during a selenium eclipse, the sun and the moon are both visible in the sky to the observer watching it, and the shadow that you claim is on the moon is actually upside down for if it was actually doing that eclipse. So you have two problems. Both in the sky, shadows coming down, jumping up to the moon, and then turning upside down.
Yo, have you actually got the selenium GIF? Because I'm struggling to find that. I'm going to jump onto my iPhone.
I can only post text. I can't post anything.
Right, DM it to me, bro, in case I'm unable to fucking find it.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in saying that Well, honestly, because I have no idea I barely know anything about eclipses, right?
Right. That's all right,
I'll give
bro.
you the benefit of the
That's all
doubt
right.
there. But so if I grant you that observation, can I bring up one of my own?
Go for it, bro. Well,
Okay.
wait, hold on 1 second, just because I'm just scrolling through this. I will find it in like the space of 30 seconds. Just that, it's a short GIF showing what we're talking about. There we go, I found it, bro. Right, take a look in the on the text channel that goes along with here. I've also posted underneath it, I'm going to post another 2 eclipses, but the one that's got the little eyeballs that shows you the sun traveling down.
That's the moon, not the sun.
I'm looking at what the other one. Forget those other 2 because that just shows you another light body, dark body that I was going to bring up if we had a
We don't need
fucking
to
thing.
bring that one
But,
up yet. This doesn't deal with
so
the
that,
solar eclipse.
no, it's just because I found it when I was scrolling through it all, man. Right, so like if we look at this alien eclipse and you look at that shadow, can you see an issue here?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't know enough about lunar eclipses to give you an answer for that.
No, man. No, just to
So
me,
I
I
can,
just wanted to make sure you saw it and you knew what we were talking about. Still, bruv. When you go bring up your whatever you were going to pose.
sure. So let's say, for example, seasons, right?
Right.
How come at one part in the year it's very cold up here in America, and yet in Australia they have a warm summer? Same
Well,
time, right? It's warm in Australia. It's cold up in the US. Why is that?
Bro, take a look that screenshot I just posted, and I'm just gonna get you a GIF that actually moves as well, so you sort of see the concept.
There's your weather patterns right there. There's your heat, your mild,
Sure,
and your
that doesn't explain the why the sun is out longer in Australia than it is in the US.
What, on the same latitude?
I'm sorry.
Where exactly are you talking about in the US that this happens?
Uh, Anywhere in the winter in the US, we have what we call shorter days, right? Because the sun isn't out as long. It sets earlier than it normally does. It comes up later than it normally
Oh,
does. This is because
no,
at this point in the Earth's revolution around the sun, the Earth is angled sort of,
nice
or
climb,
from my position, the Earth is angled away, right?
nice
But in
climb.
Australia, the sun is out for longer. They have longer days during the winter. In other
Right.
words, the sun comes up earlier
So
and sets later.
over the course of the year, that the sun's circuit, if you like, if you want to call it that, that circuit extends over the course of the year. So as it gets further and further away from an area, it's getting closer to another area. So it's giving them their summer while we're having our winter. It's the same with the sun travelling around each day. As the sun, over the course of the year, the sun, its orientation in the sky changes. So over the course of the year, the days get longer or shorter depending on where you
So,
are.
so you
It's
believe
in
that
the
we have
time
a
zone.
local, smaller sun that is
No, that's what
closer to the Earth. Is that what
that's
you're
what it
telling me?
appears to be, bro. When you look at local illumination on the clouds from the sun and the moon, it does appear that these bodies are definitely a lot
Right.
closer than
And I
you
know I
normally
know what you're
think.
talking about, but the problem is that model does not
What mod?
accurately what you're explaining, right? A local small sun that sort of
Well, that's what we
rotates
see.
above a
that's what we
flat
see.
surface, right?
That's what we see. It's not a model.
Are you guys talking about physics?
When I say model, I mean your explanation, right? The idea that there's this sun that's close to the Earth
Ah,
that does not represent how light interacts with objects. It does not explain how certain areas of the world are lit up, right? Because
The
it's
sun moves. The sun moves around. Sunlight doesn't travel forever.
are you talking about physics in
yes,
here?
but
Yeah,
the light that we so again, what we see on Earth, it's best explained by a large sun far away,
yeah.
giving
It's
parallel
definitely
rays.
But they're
local.
not
No, but the
parallel.
rays are not parallel, mate. You've heard the crepuscular rays, surely.
They're not parallel.
Yes, they are.
They're
No,
not.
they're not.
Boys,
Watch
I think it's
Bro,
best to
Reg.
just give the glory to God and say that
I'm
we
sorry?
can't explain His
Bro,
incredible
don't stop.
creation.
Bro,
Right?
stop over talking
Just
and
say,
rambling. Or you're
just
gonna get
say
muted.
that we
You're gonna get muted.
ourselves cannot
Anyway,
fathom the
I'm not
greatness
gonna
of
listen.
God.
You sound
We need to all admit
kind of
right
muffled.
now
I can't
that we
understand what you're saying.
cannot
I'm muted, bro. 1 second, I'm gonna mute.
we
There you go.
cannot
It's better.
comprehend the unfathomableness of
What's
God.
his name?
Right?
What's this
He
guy's
is
name?
so vast.
Womp.
He is so far and wide that we just can't
I had to
simply
mute him because I
comprehend
can't
him.
listen to him and
Bro,
everybody else.
was it
Oh, I think I have it
WWED?
muted too.
Is it that guy WWED?
WOMPP.
Fuck, who the fuck's that? Can't see it.
He's gone now.
See it. Oh, worked out a ban, bro. Hey, listen, bro. I worked out a ban.
Sorry, are you talking to me?
Worked out a ban, bro. Fund the command.
Oh, okay.
I think he
It's
left. I think the guy left.
some reject or some shit. I forgot it already. I'll just back at the screen. I'll find it.
I found a whole list of commands. There's so many that's just ridiculous.
So the other guy, like, what would you say is like? I'm not sure what you answered when I asked you what the best evidence was for the globe. Then, out of all the stuff you've been taught and all
The sun is far away in parallel rays. That's his best evidence.
Was that you?
That's just. I mean, that's an explanation, right?
Oh,
So what I'm saying is, if you're going to describe a local sun, it has to be able to explain all the observations we make, and
exactly.
there isn't
You've
a
not got
single
parallel
to date.
rays.
There isn't a single model of a local sun that
Oh.
explains the way the Earth is lit up.
What do you mean? You're just, mate, like, we've just went through the selenium for starters. That eclipse destroys it. The fucking local
And
illumination.
I
From the sun and the
granted
moon.
you that.
Bro, right, let me finish then, let me finish. So the local illumination on the clouds from the sun and the moon, especially, it's even more vivid at night when you see the cloud cover just fractionally around the moon's fucking sort of circle, sorry. And so the local fucking illumination.
I granted you the eclipse point. I'm not sure why we're returning to that. I'm just saying that
Well, that was
if
the
you're
first
going to
thing I
say that
said.
we
I
have,
moved
when I
on
say a
from that.
local sun, I mean a source of light, right?
Why are you
A
repeating
sun.
it? That's not the only thing that I said. Man. That was the first thing I said. Then I moved on. Then you repeated that. Then we moved on. Then you fucking just brought it up again, saying that that's not what you said. Bro, there's local illumination on the clouds. If you disagree with that, you're lying, eh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead and say what you said about the clouds.
There's local illumination on the clouds from the sun and the moon.
Just post a GIF of the sun. What's it called? Diverging rays.
I'm still in trying to I'll be a second. Like,
I mean,
I know what you, I understand. I know
it.
what you're going
You
to
see, they're
to
not
post.
parallel.
Wait, does that mean that the sun is a square?
Another
They're
one.
going to show you. They're going to show a picture of the sun light coming through clouds, and not straight down, but at angles, to say that the rays from the sun are not parallel.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is the sun square?
bro, do you want me? It's up to you. If you
What
can't,
about Mars? Is
normal,
Mars flat?
right,
Just mute him.
bro.
Are the other planets?
But who says we
Flat?
live on a planet, bro? We don't live on a planet.
Yeah.
What do we
Other
live
planets.
on, bro?
What the fuck does that mean? Other planets. You got to prove that you live on a light in the sky.
But we've taken pictures of it.
You've taken pictures of Earth as a light in the sky?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You got a
And
good
everything
camera.
in between.
You got a good camera to be able to point up to the sky and see Earth.
They actually put cameras on space missions and pointed the cameras back at Earth.
Oh, I see. There is a link for one of these fucking supposed space mission cameras. Can we see it?
In that case, it was about 12 years, yeah.
No, but can we see the space camera that's on a mission?
Yeah.
Please do. Please post a link for it. Because I
Take
guarantee
the
you don't
space
see
camera
shit.
they used. I'll show you.
You don't see shit in this camera. I guarantee you.
Spake.
Yeah.
Space cameras.
I gotta run right now,
I
but
just
I'll
posted.
be back on later if you want
Bro, take a
to.
look.
Are you going to be on for a
Go
while
for it.
today?
We'll be
'Cause I'll
here.
come back.
We'll be here.
Come
This is
on,
going to be
that's all
here
about,
all
bro.
day.
Room's open, I'll be in there. Well, take a quick look just in the in the text chat again. You'll see the GIF with the local illumination and with anti and crepuscular rays, and I posted one that's just crepuscular rays. So that's both of those arguments laid out.
Yeah, and this does not debunk parallel rays, by the way. This is simply the way that we see. But I will be back later today. I'll talk to y'all later.
Are they parallel, bro? Okay. Is he away? Oh, shit bag. It doesn't answer. What did he say? It doesn't answer or debunk parallel rays. It obviously does, I don't see parallel rays there, like. Sorry. Sorry. Really sorry. Me no like it parallel. That almost sounded like James here. Holy fuck.
Well, this is the dumbest channel I've been in that's saying a lot.
So let's present some evidence for your spinning space ball then, bro. Let us destroy you within 2
Trying to
sentences.
use space as their evidence.
What, have you seen the moon, bro? Have you seen it?
What
Yeah, I
about?
take pictures of it.
What's wrong with the moon? Like, what's the problem? What does that prove?
It's like the Earth, but like 81 times smaller.
How do you know? When did you see a picture of the Earth like that?
And who
Because
measured
because they can weigh planets, bro. It's like
Who
math
measured
and
the
shit.
Earth then, bro?
You can
So who
weigh.
measured the Earth that you live on? Who gave you the radius and the circumference? Who gave you these fucking numbers? Tell us. Any time in history,
The ancient Greeks.
You think you can weigh planets?
But how did the Greeks measure? They calculated. They put some sticks in the ground and fucked about with the shadows, the differences in the shadows, and they calculated the Earth's radius.
And now they can take photographs of Earth from space, so they know for sure, down to like the meter.
Into space, before they put Sputnik up, they would have had to know the measurement for the Earth radius. How the fuck could they orbit the Earth if they never knew its radius?
I don't know, man. Do you know what maps are? You know what cartography is?
What's that to do with up in fucking...
That's how they did it before.
What, in space? They went to space to make maps?
They made maps from pictures that they took in space, yeah. That's how that works.
They made maps from pictures, bro. Before they went to space, they would have to know what the radius was. How the fuck could they send something high in altitude as well, above the Earth's radius? So they would have had to add something onto the Earth's radius.
I don't know, man. If you know the rate of the spin of the Earth, it's not too hard to figure out.
And how do they know the rate of the spin of the Earth, or the radius, or the circumference, or any one of the...
Well, you know it rotates in 24 hours, and if you know the diameter based on measurements of shadows, it's not too hard to figure out, dude.
Well, you just know that it goes dark every 24 hours.
Like 3 numbers is all you need.
Bro, you just know it gets nighttime every 24 hours. That doesn't even mean that anybody could ever have fathomed that they live on a spinning ball.
You're aware that we've traveled around the Earth, right?
Yeah, I walked my dog around the block.
They travelled across the Earth.
Yeah, back to the starting point. That's how we know it's round.
What do you mean? So
you're telling me when I walk the dog that my block is a planet?
Yeah, if you keep walking down the block, you'll end up eventually where you started. If you keep walking in a straight line, bro, it's like magic.
And I didn't go around the planet either.
And if he walks around,
that's how that works. That's why you went around. That's like because you went around the planet, dude. That's how that works.
Bro, if he walks around
how else do you explain it?
His neighborhood round, is it? Does that make his neighborhood round just because he walked around it?
Yeah, that's how like a globe works.
Why would his neighborhood be round just because he walked around his neighborhood?
Because or else you wouldn't end up in the same place by walking in a straight line, dumbass. That's how that works.
Are you arguing for his neighborhood being round, mate? For fuck's sake.
Yeah, if you walk straight and then yeah, that's called walking in a circle, dude. That's how you keep walking in the same direction and end up at your starting point. That's what a circle is.
So,
you have to explain to you the concept of a circle? Like, are you too stupid to know what a circle is?
Do I live on a circle?
Yeah, that's when you have that in 3 dimensions. That's a ball, you know, otherwise known as a globe.
Since when were circles 3-dimensional, bro? What fucking planet are you living in?
Yeah, I mean, bro, if you don't believe that reality is in 3 dimensions, then I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Circles are
take your fucking
2-dimensional,
medicine.
bro. Circles are 2-dimensional and they're flat, bro.
What, do you live in Flatland? Can I visit you?
We don't live on a circle.
Can I visit you in Flatland, bro?
Circles are not 3-dimensional, bro. Fuck's sake, you
Hey,
insane.
dude, you're fucking having a meltdown.
Oh, what? Sure.
Yeah, a circle is 2 dimensions, but a globe is 3. Like, what do you not understand?
You're the one
Do you
playing
know
with
what pi is?
So you don't think you live in 3 dimensions right now? You think if we say the Earth is flat, it's not 3 dimensions? Is that what you
I
think?
mean, yeah, that's what a flat Earth
Oh, that's
is.
why you're fucked up, because you're kind of stupid.
What? That's what flat is. It's literally in the name.
No,
but
we're
we're
If
talking
not
about the
flat, then what, bro?
surface of
Is it a
water,
donut?
son. The surface of water is flat and level when it rests over any distance.
When we say they're flat, all we're saying is there's no fucking. Obviously,
Also, there's like depths to the Earth, right? Do you know how deep the Earth is?
Can't answer the fucking phone.
So far, 7.6 miles it's been dug down.
You don't think there's any way to know whether or not the Earth is, deeper than that?
So far,
There's no way to
7.6
tell?
miles.
No, I'm asking you, do you think there's no way to tell?
7.6 miles is the farthest that they've ever dug down. So how are you going to tell what's farther than that?
Because we can see the Earth from outside, and we can measure earthquakes and shit. We can use lots of evidence to say that the Earth is deeper than 7 miles, dude. Like, if you think that, then even my toddlers know more than you. Where do you think all the oil comes from, bro? And all of that fucking volcanoes and shit. Where do you think all the lava comes from?
Where do you think it comes from?
From inside the Earth.
No shit.
Yeah, wow, so there is an inside to the Earth, isn't there? And how
No
come on
kidding.
opposite
I mean,
sides of the planet
It
there's
goes down
volcanoes?
7.6
It's almost
miles
like the
so
Earth is
far.
round and is molten on the inside. Wow.
Can you hear me at all? I said they've dug
Yes.
down 7.6 miles. So now what?
What I just told you.
What about it?
Yeah, it just
You
like
have to go down
debunked
10,000
everything
feet
you
to
could
hit
have to say
oil.
about that.
You only have to go down 10,000 feet to hit oil. Less than that.
All right, bro. So do you believe in the existence of Canada?
I go there all the time.
No, bro. Okay, so
I
what
don't go there all
about
the time.
Angola? What about Angola, bro? Do you believe Angola is real?
I don't have a belief system like you do.
Well, see, you can't know if Angola is real because you've never been there. So Angola's
I
fake.
don't care about Angola. Do you care about it?
Well, I care about you being stupid, so I'm pointing out to you how stupid you are.
You're pointing out dumb shit, actually.
No, I'm making a perfectly fair
Water
analogy.
is
It just
flat
goes
and
straight over
level
your head.
over any distance when it's at rest. Go ahead and prove me wrong.
What?
Okay, this time listen. Water is flat and level over any distance when it's at rest. Prove it. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I can show you drops that are round. Have you ever seen round drops before?
Let's clarify. Bodies of water are flat and level at any distance when at rest.
Yeah, or it's like an ocean, in which case it wraps around the Earth.
I just said it's flat and level at any distance.
Yeah,
That includes
except
an
for all of those
ocean.
times when it isn't. You're such a dumbass.
So you're saying oceans are curved but lakes are flat?
What I'm saying is your assertion that water is flat is wrong. Just flat out wrong and stupid.
How's it going? I agree with you, Dr. Science, by the way. I'm on that side of this conversation.
Flat Earth is such a LARP, dude. It's like
I,
it's like a toddler ideology. It's not a serious one. They don't actually believe any of this shit. They're just being like, it's like opposition defines disorder as an ideology.
I think it's just flat Earth is the ground that they're arguing on, but it's not the argument they're actually having.
The argument they're having is that my headcanon is more valid than reality, and you should respect that.
I don't think it's even that. I think it's just extreme popularism. I think it's I don't trust authority or establishment at all.
But they clearly do. They are just very selective about which ones they trust.
I mean, there's always going to be contradiction. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
because ask flat earthers about errors in the Bible, and they can't find any.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest error in the Bible, of course, is the missing first page. That
Yes,
states,
but the Holy Spirit, I know that's for reals, bro, because that's what evil scientists say is fake, so that must mean it's real.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. It's completely contradictory.
Yeah, I mean, I saw sort of a YouTube documentary about that, and his thesis was that they're carrying out a revolt against the concept of truth itself. They want to live in a world where, like, whatever bullshit they make up is just as valid as anything that's actually true. The revolt, yeah, it's like a symbolic, revolt against reality.
Maybe reality is just too confusing.
I mean, that's fair to say, but they're still being.
I'm going to make a claim right now. Water boils in a vacuum.
Look, here's the thing, man. Flat earthers are inherently bad faith. They're just taking advantage of, like, other people's, being nice to them. That's all they're doing. Like, oh, well, I'm making arguments, so you're obligated to make good faith arguments back at me, knowing full well that everything they say is, like, full of shit. They're just, like, mocking the very concept of having a fair discussion.
T.O.'s, it went right over his head when I said water boils in a vacuum.
It depends on the temperature of the vacuum.
No, it always does. Sublimation.
Is it always past the 0 point? Yeah.
Yeah, water can't exist without an atmosphere. It's either ice or it's vapor.
This is why I brought up the temperature, because obviously there's ice in space.
CO2 is like that too, like dry ice, Have you ever seen dry ice sublimate and, like, go shh?
Yeah,
That's just becoming CO2. That's because air pressure isn't high enough to where it can be liquid, but at high pressure, CO2 can be liquid too.
Makes sense.
You guys just debunked space.
How?
Space proves it. He's trolling. Like all flat earthers, he's a disingenuous troll.
It's magical when Globers debunk themselves.
How did we debunk anything? I'd like to hear a full explanation.
He's
please.
a gaslighting troll, dude. Nothing he ever says is any validity. Listen to his tone. Listen to the tone he says things in. He's not being serious. He's, like, laughing under his breath with everything he says. He's not serious.
I'm completely laughing at you.
Yeah, no,
Well,
you
stay in your.
You think there's a magic bubble
Stay in your
around
sandbox. Stay in your
air and
magical
water in it.
sandbox, butt boy. But yeah, science denial has become, like, a huge thing. You know, recently it has.
I think COVID fucked a lot of people over.
It
A lot of people
It
got
doesn't help
confused.
that legitimate authorities are tripping over themselves, discrediting themselves. You know, like when you
Yeah.
can't trust them, then of course, like what other choice do people have but to look for alternatives? You know, a lot of official jargon sounds far less stupid than this conspiracy bullshit I hear. You know, like or sounds more stupid. It sounds less believable than, you know, the conspiracy theorists, what they say.
You also get reporters that don't really understand the science reporting on the science badly, so that then becomes part of the public discourse.
Yeah, man, I can't count the number of killer asteroids I've read about in the tabloid.
It's sensationalism, but that's what sells fucking news stations and newspapers or whatever. If you write a real discussion on what's going on in science right now, nobody cares because
Yeah, but that kind of sensationalism ultimately undercuts what they're trying to like bank off of. You know, if they misrepresent the science, then how can they expect people to be interested in it?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a problem.
Because, you know, if it was about sensationalism and science, there's no shortage of supply for their sensationalism. You know, if that was what was driving it, you know, like, perfect example, climate change unironically literally will bring doomsday and kill us all. If you're out for clicks and bleeding and leading and all of that, right? Like it's the perfect thing. You can have climate apocalypse propaganda 24/7 and it's not it's true. You know, it's scientifically based, all of that. And they could have their cake and eat it too in a lot of cases. Repeat honestly and dryly about the science, but also have their doom and gloom and their, you know, sensationalism and this will change everything. They can have all of that, but they just don't do it. So I just don't buy that it's sensationalism driving it. You know, I think it's a convenient excuse because
global
on
warming
so
is
many science issues, they have everything laid out for them to do that, and
global
it's in the
warming
public
is
interest, but they don't.
is killing the planet. Global warming is here. We're dying.
I mean, all you have to do is look at average temperature graphs over the last like 50 years, and you can
And
tell
even if you don't
CO2
believe in
mass is
climate change,
going up.
The
look at
last
like
8 years was just shown to me
biosphere collapse and
high
resource
average
depletion
temperature
and
went
everything,
down by
dude. Like
6
poisoning the
degrees
environment.
in the past 8
There's
years.
just so many sensationalist grifts to go on if you want to take that route, and it's all true, but they don't. So I don't think it's sensationalism. I think they're purposely trying to make people dumber, and they just pick and choose when they do so.
Is it possible that there's so much financial conflict with climate change that that's getting in the way?
Oh, conflict of interest, yeah, all the way up and down the chain, of course.
I mean, oil is such a big
Yeah,
business.
the very people profiting off of the destruction of the earth are the ones responsible for it. So of course they don't want it to end. They want it to go on forever. They don't want it to stop, and they'll do anything, including destroying the world, to prevent it.
I mean,
You know, because the only thing they care about is them making money as fast as possible. That's the only thing they care about.
Equally, I'd say that denying climate change is sensationalist media. Look at all these people lying to you. Look at it's popularism again.
It's the
us
OG
versus
fake
them
news.
thing. Yeah.
The OG fake news of our modern era. They've been doing it since the 80s when their own scientists came back with the same results as the actual scientists. You know, do you know about those like famous Exxon memos and shit from like 80, 81 where they put their own scientists on it? Like, okay, so we don't really trust these climate scientists. We think they're onto us and destroy business, so let's do our own research. And they came back like, yep, it's exactly as the scientists say. So we can either transition away from fossils to like renewables and be energy giants forever with, you know, moderate profit margins forever, or we can destroy the world on purpose for even higher profit margins. And guess what they chose in writing to do? Right? Like it shouldn't even be a guess at this point. And these people were positively humanitarian by today's leader standards. So don't make any mistake, dude. Like it's not even over like a silver lining or like it's just pure malice and greed. There is nothing else to it. There's no silver lining. And so obviously, to keep that power and keep things on track, they do what they do best, malice and greed, right? And it's seeped through our entire society for the past 30 years. And everyone can tell that it's happening, but they can't put their finger on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because the areas that can be controlled, media, social media, marketing.
Right, all of that has to be co-opted and destroyed, because if they remain
Yeah.
free, they will inevitably destroy us in the end because of what we've done and what we continue to do. So the only way to stay safe is to kick down that ladder forever. Right?
Well, it's the obvious contradiction. So if you can control the areas you can control are controlled. The areas you can't control. If you look into the pure research, there's no control going on, and it states quite clearly what's fucking happening
Right,
because
but-
they can't control that area.
Right, but that was the whole thing. It's like neoliberalism. The absence of control is the point, and so when they silence and destroy everyone trying to restore order, and they're surprised that it isn't working, well, that's by design. You know, like you can't be surprised that there's plot intrigues when you've established your neo-feudal society. Like, what do you think feudalism is? Right?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Right, like they never saw the princess scheming to put their guy on the throne coming, did you? Like, how could you not see that coming? Wasn't that the entire point? You know? I'm referring to people like Trump here, because, like, you know, Robert Murdoch created that monster, but he's lost control of that monster, and they're serious about the lies he's fed them for 50 years. And he can't control them anymore.
So what do we do? What's the prescription?
I mean, you have to name the sickness, first of all, and you have to identify the ones that are sick. Because once you know, people become aware of what's going on, it's like no one has deserved to hang higher from the nearest tree than these people. Like, even Hitler is tame by comparison. I mean, he only wanted to kill 100 million people for a better society, right? These people want to kill billions of people for nothing at all other than personal profit. You know, like, that's far eviler.
Yeah, as crazy as Hitler was, I think he thought he was doing the right thing. I don't think you
Right,
can make
even
that
Stalin,
argument.
right? Even Stalin and Mao, all these mass murderers, they could still be like, yes, it's bad, but hear me out. You know, it's all for a greater purpose. You don't have these days. Like, if you ask these neoliberals, what's the end? What's the light at the end of the tunnel? They'll tell you, you are all my slaves. You all die. I'm rich and live as a king forever. And if the world is destroyed, well, that's just the magic of capitalism. They will literally in your face tell you this, and they will smirk as they tell you this too. Like, yes, like unironic, literal, evil supervillain shit. Just pure cockroachery, you know?
Okay, so we abstain from oil as a populace.
We have to destroy the parasite where it feeds on its own, which is society. You know, that these people would not exist if society were not keeping them sustained. You know, they are the biggest welfare queens of all. They are, even with all of society at their beck and call, they're still destroying it from within and running it dry. It's, you know, it's to feed these welfare queens, as it were, is an unfillable black void that will only hollow out the tax base to begin with. It's like the most perfect definition of cancer and parasite in a sociological term you can come up with. They are, sociologically speaking, cancers and parasites. Their existence is not only, you know, created in virtue of, you know, at great cost to society, but the greater they are and the more clout they have, the worse it gets, right? The more the disease spreads, right? It hollows out the body politic from within.
So again, how do we rebel? What's the What would you say as an individual? How do you act in
Well, I
this
mean, there's
situation?
still theoretically democratic means within our reach, but if there isn't, then they'll eventually just be like everywhere will be Syria, dude. Eventually, because that like how else can it play out?
So we need to take the power back, as it were, in the words of Rage Against the Machine, but democratically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we never had it to begin with, but yes, we need to find a way to keep ourselves from being locked out of power.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
And the more that is denied to us peacefully, the more they make it inevitable that it's violent. And they fuck themselves over again, because all of this was preventable if they just paid 5% more tax.
I mean, if we go violent, we've lost straight
Why
away.
are we
Yeah.
talking about taxes, boys?
Hey.
Why are we talking about fucking 5% increases on taxes? You believe them?
So a right winger got triggered when he heard the word taxes. It's like their
I hate
kryptonite.
winger.
It's their
I don't believe in
kryptonite.
politics, bro. It's both wings of the same bird, mate. A turkey that you used for a lot of fight
Oh,
over.
you're one of those third positionists. I've heard a lot about you. You're ill.
No, I'm a flat earther, bro. This is a flat earth room.
What?
This is a flat earth room. This is for flat earth discussion. No,
I can't even understand what you're saying, man.
Well, we go away then if you can't understand me, man. Because
Your
I'm going to
accent is so thick, and your mic is like a 16-bit dog shit.
No,
The
I'm going to be
combination of
talking
that
to
means
you.
I can't hear you what you're saying.
Well, bro, go away then, because I will be talking. So if you can't hear me and everybody else can, then I think it's not my issue. Eh?
Those 5 last words sounded like one continuous. So I don't understand what you said.
It's not his problem. He's Scottish, man. You've got to put up with.
Yeah,
Like, allowed to be in this room and talk. You can't just slag his accent off. It's pretty rude.
Dr. Science can fucking be muted because we're listening to fucking condescending twats. Yeah.
I mean, it's easy enough to ask you to repeat yourself if he doesn't understand stuff. Like, I don't get that at all. That was just rude.
He just thinks he's fucking being an asshole, man. I think he's trying to show off to the audience rather than address me like he'll address me, but to you lot. Yeah? Especially when I mentioned flat Earth. We never even got started on the flat Earth stuff.
I'm Scouse. I can translate if you want.
Oh my
Speak.
fucking hell, my giant.
Speak. Do you want me to translate for you, lad?
Fucking translator, you know.
I've listened to a lot of Frankie Boyle. I understand you, man.
They struggle with the northern accents on here. Speak.
Northern. Well, I'm fucking extremely northern.
Extremely, yeah. Hey, listen, right. Someone posted a picture of a Loch Ness monster. Is that real or what?
Is it real what? Is that a real picture? Oh.
Yeah.
Where's it posted?
It was on the news, like someone's got another sighting, but I'm not into all that, but it did look a bit weird.
I'm just spitting the conspiracy minds, man. Like, CNN was broadcasting for like 12 days in a row the shit that was happening. One of their fucking sort of, no Congress, but one of those sort of fucking legal beagle places where they have their discussions. And it was like these top retired fucking Navy, whatever the fuck, test pilots and whatever. And the guy was blatantly hinting towards them. Well, they said that they had recovered crafts for starters, getting the UFO nuts fucking in a frenzy. Then they said they had fucking, or they hinted at having organic matter, as in he's basically making it, they retrieved the bodies. Then they said some shit like, have you seen any or heard of anybody getting hurt trying to bring this information out to the public eye? And the guy's like, yes. And he's like, have you heard of anybody actually being killed trying to bring this information to the public eye? And this top Navy ex-retired commander or whatever the fuck says, I can't answer that in public office. I'll answer it behind closed doors. That's what he said, mate. Eh? And they were broadcasting this shit for at least 12 days. It was on CNN.
Yeah.
So they're going to start pushing for the space. They're going to start pushing that. Mate, space doesn't exist. It literally cannot even exist according to natural fucking gas laws. The second law of thermodynamics and entropy. Entropy must increase if we're in this open, uncontained system enveloped by a near perfect vacuum called space. Like, that's
What?
impossible. How can we be a pressurized system that we know we've got barometric pressure of 14.7 psi on average at sea level, and it's a gradient, so it gets less and less dense as you gain elevation. But beyond the Kármán line, space is a near perfect, as good as infinite vacuum, as far as I can see it. So how can a vacuum support a pressurized system when we can't even have gas pressure without containment, let alone have it in a vacuum?
Well, it's backwards, isn't it? So a pressurized system can exist within a vacuum. A vacuum can't exist within a pressurized system without containment.
Bro, how can you have a pressurized system in a vacuum without how can you have gas pressure without a container in the first instance?
Well, you need force. If
What
you
force?
have, well,
Which force?
gravity is.
Gravity's not been a force for over a century, bro. Check your fucking scientific rhetoric.
Gravity acts as a force, even if I
No,
mean it's according to
pseudo.
physics, it's one of the four basic forces of all
Nope, you're
existence.
wrong.
No, mass attracts mass was a force, Newtonian gravity. But
Yeah,
Einstein,
Newtonian gravity is still real.
right, no, well, it's been
Nope,
abandoned because it doesn't work with quantum mechanics or
wrong,
stuff.
dude.
It's still mass attract mass in reality. Where's the scientific experiment that's ever backed up either Newtonian or Einsteinian gravity?
It's called the Cavendish experiment. It's done
It's
thousands
not an
of times a year,
experiment,
and it backs up mass
not an
attracts mass.
experiment. That's definitely not an experiment. Doesn't follow the scientific method. What's the
Of course it
independent
does.
variable in Cavendish?
Is an independent variable always required?
What is the independent variable? For to have a scientific method following experiment, yes.
The scientific method changes in different places. How much
It's
philosophy of science do you know?
rigid. It's rigid. When it comes to
No.
experimentation, I can give you multiple fucking citations right now. If you take a look in the text chat, I'll give you it, man. And you can look up your own. Obviously, don't just look at
Well,
mine.
philosophy of
I'll
science
give you
kind of
citations.
states that you can change certain aspects of the scientific method as long as the data you're recovering is observable and
Yeah.
empirical.
Bro, to follow the scientific method during an experiment, that is rigid. That you must stick to that, or you are in fact doing pseudoscience, bro. And you manipulate, you isolate your independent variable, you manipulate it, and it changes your dependent variable. If it does that, you could possibly back what your hypothesis was, and that would have to be based on a naturally occurring phenomena. So what was seen in Cavendish falling down? Like, where's shit falling
Well,
down in
it
Cavendish?
wasn't things falling down in Cavendish, was
That,
it? It was mass attracting mass, which is the
aye,
argument.
well,
Yeah,
what,
it
so you're
was.
going to beg the question before you even conduct the experiment?
That's not begging the question. That's explaining the experiment.
Well, no, you're already assuming mass attracts mass before you've even started.
No, we're testing whether mass attracts mass.
Right, so where was the
That's the
observation?
hypothesis. The hypothesis is mass
Where's
attracts
the
mass.
observation?
Yeah,
Where's the observation?
of mass attracting mass. Drop something.
Yeah. Well, what about
We're
if I drop
trying.
a helium balloon?
Well, the air rushes underneath it and it gets pushed up by the air
Wet
pressure. That's
dense
called
medium.
buoyancy. We understand that
So
as well.
when things that are less dense in the medium appear to go up, the things that are more dense appear to go down. So
Yeah, because of
relative
gravity. Yeah.
density and buoyancy, well, RDD, relative density disequilibrium, what creates like a upward motion with helium. So like no
It's
everything falls down. So
you still need a downward acceleration for buoyancy to exist, though. Yeah.
what does that really matter? Like what's the point here?
Well, you can't. Well, there's no without a force. There's no reason for anything to move.
It's not a force supposedly.
Well, no, it acts as a force, doesn't
That's
it?
why.
That's Newtonian
Right.
Newtonian gravity. The
Right.
description of gravity
Not
is
a
it acts
force.
as a
Right.
force.
It can't be measured, but it acts as a force.
No,
Talking
mass attracts mass is supposedly a force, bro. That's the Einstein's gravity. That's a pseudo force, so they say.
Yeah.
But mate, you need to see something in reality before you form your hypothesis.
Okay, so the
then-
observation.
Listen. So you
Sorry.
need to see something in reality, something fall, and that's what you're saying, I take it.
Yeah, the
But then-
observation is things always fall to the ground.
No, they don't know. Helium doesn't.
Well, it does because the air is falling to the ground underneath it and pushing it up. So it's still an action of downward acceleration.
Helium's not falling down. Helium's going up, bro. So
No,
we've
the
not
air
got-
is falling underneath it, pushing it
right.
up.
But we're not talking about the air you claim is falling underneath it. We're talking about helium does not go down.
It does in a vacuum.
So we're going to jump to a hypothetical in a vacuum.
No.
Where's
We can do it in a
vacuum?
vacuum
Helium
chamber
into
on
a
Earth.
vacuum. I pull a
If you got a
vacuum out
vacuum
and
in
there won't be
reality.
any helium in the vacuum.
Pardon?
A vacuum's not in reality, so that's not a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Yeah,
A
we
helium
can do it in a
balloon.
vacuum chamber, man. We can do it in
But that's
reality
not
in a
natural.
vacuum chamber. If
That's
you drop a
not
helium
natural.
balloon in a vacuum chamber, it goes down.
No. Nature abhors a vacuum. Literally abhors it.
What?
I mean, you don't see vacuums in nature, man. Eh?
Well, vacuum is arguably the biggest part of nature, but that
Where?
aside,
Where?
space is
Oh, but
fucking big.
you're going to beg the question again.
Okay, so vacuum chambers don't exist. Is that your argument?
No, I'm saying to you.
Okay, so if you drop a
Listen, if
helium
you're doing
balloon,
natural science, bro, if you're doing natural science and you're forming an experiment and you're going to follow the scientific method, as rigid as it is, because it is fucking rigid, and there's no two ways about it. So you have to see something in nature, then form your hypothesis, then construct your experiment, then isolate your fucking IV, then
okay, so
manipulate it and see what it does to your DV, if anything.
okay,
that's
so
the
I drop a stone in nature, it falls
but
to the
you don't-
ground.
the
My
point is,
hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. I test that with the Cavendish experiment and prove it to
Oh,
be true. Like, well, I don't get what your
It's
problem
not got
with
an
that is.
observation. It's not got a fucking independent variable. Nothing falls down in it.
The independent variable in the Cavendish. Let me think. How I can explain it
So
What
I
you
see
do.
something
in
fall
those
down.
terms.
I see something fall down. So my experiment is hang things side by side and see what happens.
See if the mass attracts the
Related
mass
at
or
all.
not. Yeah, test whether mass attracts mass.
That's not
That's-
related at
But
all.
who's
Of
to
course
say
it
that
is.
just because it, bro? Who's to say that just because it does that thing that you claim is mass attract mass? Who's to say that it's not fairies attracting fairies or fairies pushing fairies away? Like it could
Well,
be anything unknown that you've not got a clue about that you don't know to fucking carry on a contraption because that's what it is. It's been created and then something's been fucking something's happened in it. Then a form of a consequent happens. You're fucking begging a question repeatedly, and
I don't think it is. So the independent variable in the Cavendish experiment, the control was the angle between the frame and the large weights.
what's the IV though, bruv?
Pardon?
What's the IV?
It's the control. It's the angle between the frame and the large weight.
So it's not gravity then.
Why? No, the dependent variable.
Your
Whether they actually attract each other or not.
your
The
IV,
DV would be.
your IV, bro. What's your IV?
The angle between the frame and the large weights.
Well, it's not gravity then. That's what I fucking said.
Yeah, but the DV is gravity.
No, your DV is your effect.
Yes, which is
Right.
what
So
we're measuring, the effect of
can't be your
gravity.
cause.
Yes.
The effect can't be the cause. Fuck's sake, man. Jesus Christ.
The effect can't. Wait, what?
How can the effect be the cause?
We're not measuring the cause, we're measuring the
The
effect.
fucking IVs has to be your fucking cause that's isolated and manipulated. That'll change your DV if possible.
The IV is the angle between the weight and the thing. If that
not
changes, if that is manipulated by gravity, that is evidence that gravity exists.
Bro, take a look at the text chart.
I am.
How to construct an experiment. What your independent variable is. It's the variable that's fucking manipulated by the researcher. That's your cause. Know your effect. Cause change in the DV.
No, the DV would be the effect, yeah? The IV would be how you're testing that effect.
Your IV would be your cause. Your DV would be effect. The point of it is to establish a cause and effect relationship, or you're not doing science.
Okay, so the dependent variable in the Cavendish experiment would be the distance between the weights that are attracting each other. And
No,
the independent variable would be the action between the force. Is that what you're saying?
Is it no the oscillation through the fucking torsion balance I've heard Indio arguing? Because I'm not up to fucking scratch on this kind of shit, man. I only know a fucking fraction compared to what some of the big boys know.
Well, the oscillation can be measured and though, yeah? So it's not relevant whether mass is attracting mass.
And that's the effect though, the oscillation, that's what I'm saying.
I thought the effect was just literally attraction between two weights. Between masses.
At the end of the day, it was the DV, the IV, no, the GV that we were asking for.
I mean, you might not agree with it, but I have given those things. We can move on if you want.
What was your IV like? You never gave me the cause. You gave me the fucking angle and the fucking between the balls.
You what needs to be manipulated, which is the independent variable, yeah?
Right, but that's not your cause though. So how can you
need to
move
be
on
the
to there and claim
It doesn't
fucking
need to be the
victory?
cause, it just needs
It
to
does.
show manipulation.
Does.
No.
Want to go out? Take a look at the citations.
I mean, I am reading it. I'm not seeing where it's relevant.
It's maybe the next page done. It was actually QE's copy and paste. But Drace had repasted it, so I don't know if they're all there. I'll have a look one sec. Fucking nothing worse than having to come out of this server and go to 24/7, then you've got to come back in and scroll down through fucking 400 people.
So, the dependent variable is the variable that is assumed to change as a result of the change in the independent variable. Yeah? Hello? No one there?
Yo.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as argumentative, by the way. I don't mean to be rude with you.
Bro, fuck's sake, if you come over to our flat earth server, man, you'll hear rude people, Jesus Christ. I mean,
Okay, cool.
if you hang around in this room for fucking 10 minutes, usually there's an asshole comes in. Man, it was just an endless trickle of people that kept coming in last night. We gave them a million chances and then just had to make them, man.
I've not been in Discord for very long, so I just like to make sure that I'm not coming off as an arsehole, even though we disagree, obviously.
Fucking globed hard, but it's alright, bro. I'll not hold that against you. Nah, man.
Fair enough.
There's a link for our server in my bio. if you fucking click on the link there if you want to join, and I'll give you a role because you sound chill and civil.
I think the both of you are being very cordial. Good listening. Yeah, it's it can get into a cesspit on Discord.
Definitely,
So,
especially this subject.
people on here, mate.
This subject makes the fucking pond life fucking surface, man.
It's a heavy subject, isn't it?
It's a contentious thing. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
If you're right, I don't think you are right, but if you are right, the fucking nature of reality,
turns everything upside down.
It's literally bigger
Yeah,
than anything that can be imagined.
Yeah, we are that character who's just like living in someone's little fantasy world with all objects. You know what I mean? Spake, have you not been on an airplane, on like 10,000 feet?
Not for a long time, but yeah, I've been on a plane a couple of times.
Can't you see? I've been on mountains. I go snowboarding a lot, right? I've been on mountains and I can see the curvature.
No, you can't.
Bro, I can.
Well, mate, I'll give you footage from Neil deGrasse Tyson himself saying that Felix Baumgartner never even saw curvature from 127,000 feet, and you could see it. All the outside cameras were fisheye lenses. The one rectilinear lens inside his cab showed the horizon horizontal at eye level, perfectly flat.
I've been on the top of Mount Blanc, right, and I haven't got fish eyes, right. I've got human eyes, and I swear I could see a slight curve going on in front of my eyes, bro.
Bro, you're convincing yourself.
I've been in airplanes and seeing it.
Commercial airliners fly under 40,000 feet, 127,000 feet. He never saw curvature. Even the fucking ISS.
You really think the Earth's flat?
No, it's not flat because there's hills, mountains, valleys. There's topography.
No, I mean, square flat. Is there an edge?
A plane surface as opposed to a curved surface.
Yeah. Where's the edge? Where's the edge?
Bro, I don't think Earth's a disc. Flat's not a shape for starters. And back to what you were saying, we don't think. Fuck, I had your point.
Leave it at that. I said we don't think.
You can't onto our fucking subject there, man. I was answering your fucking question, but I forgot what you are.
Leave it like this. Just say we don't think. It describes it perfectly.
I said, I've been up in an airplane and seeing the curvature. And you seen that guy jumping out of that, doing the highest ever free fall?
Felix Baumgartner, Neil deGrasse Tyson himself says that Felix never saw curvature from that altitude. He's got a beach ball in his hand.
It was live.
He's got a beach ball. He's got a beach ball in his hand, and he's pointing to the beach ball, and he's saying Felix was 2 centimeters off that beach ball. He's jumping about the stage.
Oh my god!
He's jumping about the stage, saying he never saw curvature. No, he's saying that stuff is flat, and he's jumping about the fucking stage like a fucking crackpot, literally screaming that stuff is flat. But Felix never saw anything.
Have you never watched a boat sailing off in the horizon?
But bro, how small do you think the Earth is? If a few miles away you see a boat going over the curvature of the fucking Earth,
it doesn't go over dramatically. It takes a long time.
It doesn't go over dramatically. It doesn't go over
miles and miles.
Or it doesn't go over at all. Take a look in the text chat and I'll show you.
I've seen it with my own eyes. You're telling me that what I see is wrong?
No, but you cannot zoom in, can you?
That's heavy.
You've not got any kind of zoom in your fucking eyes.
I've
so
lived
I'll show you
58 years experience things from mountains and plains.
Years of experience.
Don't stop being fucking dishonest and let me answer before you gish gallop to another fucking irrelevant point. You're talking about you see curvature or you see the effects of curvature, and I says I'll show you, so I'll show you a zoom that's obviously got more zoom than your eyes with a P900 or a P1000, where a boat is completely disappeared. You cannot see it, and it's brought right back into view. And the boat that you can see that's zoomed into it, there's no obstruction whatsoever on that boat. Roughly, it's about a 100-foot boat. It's about 15 miles to the other side where the land is. There was a guy called Spot on Level that took the fucking observation. So that boat's about halfway, so 7-8 miles. He estimated it. He says it was a bit more. He says, but just to be safe. So that would mean that there was at least 20, 30, maybe 40 feet of curvature should be obstructing the boat, but it's not there, and there's hundreds and hundreds, thousands of these fucking observations. They get taken over and over again.
Did he account for the viewer height and the refraction index?
It was right at the fucking the water's edge.
Standing up, so 6 foot still.
No, the camera
Roughly.
was sitting on a little tripod thing.
So
That
3
was
foot.
the lowest it could be. No, it's not fucking even 3 foot. It was
Well,
at
I
the
don't know.
lowest.
I'm asking. I'm not making a statement.
No, well, I had everything. I had this GIF, which was the clip from the video, and I had a little meme that showed you the rough estimate to where it was. It had one of those boat trackers, and it told you like specifically where that boat was, but fucking from his distance, and they worked it out roughly 7 or 8 miles. That was a safe estimate, which meant at least 30, 40 feet of curvature on the boat.
Do we know the refraction index over the water that day?
Man, all information was on that meme, but
It was 1.
It was 1.
Yeah. It was 0 or 1. I forget.
Well, I mean, that's a bit of a difference, isn't it?
Well, what's the difference?
Let me make sure I'm getting it right.
Yeah. Try to
just
do
before I
that
say
first,
anything.
please. Right, please. So even the land behind that boat disappears. Behind the curve of the earth, as you would call it. But like you said, that's a P900. That zooms it right in, because he had to zoom in to get it. He just zoomed back. And he's
Well,
about,
okay, so 1 is the refraction index in a vacuum, so through 0 medium. So
Okay.
it's not 1. There's no less than. So through water, generally, it's like 1.3. So you're going to be between 1 and 1.3 somewhere.
Okay, so we'll call it 1.
Well, 1 is 0 fraction, which isn't
1 and
realistic.
1.3.
Well, the problem is that we don't have that measurement, so we can't know how much refraction.
What do you need
So
that
it's
for exactly?
irrelevant.
Tell
Well,
me what
refraction
you need
will
that for
change.
exactly. Are you
Refraction.
telling me that what we're looking at is an optical illusion?
No, I'm telling you that it's not exactly where it looks like it because the
So you're
image
telling
is
me it's an
refracted.
optical illusion. Just
I'm
say the
telling you that
word
the
optical illusion.
it's refraction.
Say
It's
the words. It's an optical illusion.
it's an optical illusion. How does that help your argument?
So you're telling me that the military, when they zero in on a target using a laser, they paint the target, they point the laser at the target, and it lights up infrared for the.
They account for the refractive index in that measurement.
Oh, do they? Do they?
Of
For
course
over
they
100
do.
miles, they measure over 100 miles, different kind of refractive index over this mile, and then this mile has a different one because
Well,
water
you
is
can
not.
average that out, can't you?
Water is not consistently the same temperature.
Well, yeah, but you can take an average.
So we'll call it 1.
Well, 1 is 0.
Okay, then we'll call it 1.
1 is
1.1.
Yeah, okay, 1.1, 1.15. Let's hit the middle between water and air because we're going over water. That makes.
So now what? Now what did you just prove?
Well,
You telling me the military, when they're shining a laser on it, are just guessing?
no. I'm saying
It's
they've
line
got feedback.
It's line of sight for 100 miles straight. Not around the ball.
Prove
Not
that.
around the ball.
That's a positive claim. Can you prove that it's line of sight?
It's a laser. It's going line of sight.
But refraction will bend light, which is a laser as well.
They are
Yeah.
sighting it in.
Is it being sighted from the ship or is it being sighted from a plane above? Often the targets are painted from above with drones or planes or helicopters. Are you talking about painting it from above or painting it from the ship itself?
Painted from a ship so planes can hit it.
I don't know if that's something they actually do, is it? I think you've got that.
It's something you're going to have to investigate. Plus,
I
you're
will.
the one with positive claims saying it's a ball that things go around. I said it's just a straight shot, just like reality.
Which is also a positive claim that you need
No,
evidence for.
reality.
But hey,
You're telling me reality is a positive claim?
I'm telling you, your opinion of reality is a positive.
I can see. I have a P900. I can see long distances with it. That's not an optical illusion.
I mean, they were your words, not mine.
So when we can take a boat from Chicago across Lake Michigan, I think, and start at Chicago and point the camera at it and go all the way across the lake and still see it, and that's like 52 miles. Are you going to tell me that that's now an optical illusion, even though you still see it and it's all still there somewhere during that trip? It turns into an optical illusion.
I've never seen a picture of Chicago from that distance where it's all still there. The bottom of the buildings are always they're always obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. But yes, the further away you go, the more refraction affects the optics.
Are you saying that during that time that it turns into an optical illusion then?
The further away you go, the more refraction affects the optics.
So it's there, you're filming it, you've got the camera on it the whole time. Somewhere there, it never actually changes. It's a full shot, never changes at all. It doesn't magically go wave and then magically appear somewhere else. It's the same shot all the way across, but somewhere in there, you're telling me that turns into an optical illusion.
No,
those buildings are
saying
down behind the Earth somewhere.
Well, this is a spectral thing, isn't it? It's not at one moment suddenly magically there's a refraction from the move. It's constantly changing as you move away from it.
In here, Spake does, but I mean, I don't know where we're going to get it
all
from.
know that fly thievers are evil. So.
Pardon?
Bro.
How come when you have water in like a pot, in order for it to evaporate, you have to literally make it reach boiling point? When it's outside and the sun hits it, somehow it just never boils, but it all evaporates. It makes no sense.
It's because water doesn't evaporate at 100 degrees. It evaporates at much lower. But if you want to boil water, you have to get it to 100 degrees.
How could it evaporate at lower than its boiling point? That makes no sense.
Boiling point doesn't mean evaporation point.
No.
Actually, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Boiling usually means it's
man.
evaporating.
But see, when you breathe out your mouth and you see your moisture in the fucking air, you breathing out boiling fucking water, like.
Body temperature is enough.
Yeah, that's the
This
point.
guy
It
is
makes no
fucking with
sense.
you. He's trolling you, bro. It has to be.
You can just mute him anyway. He's just.
I'm definitely not trolling. I actually always bothered me. I swear I'm not
Well,
trolling. But
now you know that. Now you know the answer. You're confused. That's all.
Maybe. Fair enough.
Dude, the boiling point is literally the phase change point. You can look at a critical change chart, bro. It's a chart that's well known, dude. You look at the critical point. You can use calculus to figure this out as well.
Are you telling me my graph?
Wait, did you say use calculus to figure this out? Wait, what? How do you use calculus?
No,
Wait,
I'm
is it
on
a
your side,
optimization
Blink
problem?
guy. I'm on your side, buddy. Relax.
So
No, I was
what
just curious.
happens is at night when the grass starts evaporating water and forming fog over my lawn, that's actually boiling water.
Right,
Yes,
makes no sense. That's what
yeah, the water is sublimating into the air. Yes. The different pressure gradients that can happen. Yes.
It's not
Same thing as
sublimation,
when you
is it?
drink ice water, and it sublimates into a gas sometimes, depending on the pressure that's being released from the bottom of the.
Solid to gas is sublimation. Liquid to gas is evaporation. But yeah, water can evaporate at pretty much any temperature above zero. It's just very slow at temperatures that less than 100 degrees.
I was just gonna ask, like, what's the calculus like? Like, is it an optimization problem, or is it a related rates?
I think it's more just like if you hang washing out in the wind, it dries quick. It's how much air can take up how much moisture at any one.
No, I'm actually taking Calc 2 this semester, so I'm actually curious.
Oh, I've never done any calc, so
You're
I've
gonna do a
no idea.
problem based on it then in like the next month.
Is it? What is it? Would it be just regular derivatives, right? Not integrals.
Yeah, go ask ChatGPT.
No,
ChatGPT is not good enough.
ChatGPT is a fucking bot, dude. Stop. I'm memeing
Go
about
ask
it.
that. It has all the answers.
No, it doesn't. It's a fucking bot, and it gets answers wrong like 12% of the time, bro.
Well, GPT-4 is much more accurate, but it's still not very good at math. I've tried it before for math. It's good. It's good for English classes and liberal arts classes. Not for math or computers. Actually, for computer science, it is so good. Like, it literally gives me such good freaking code.
I think coders are going to have to start using AI really soon if they're not already. It's just going to take over that world.
Yeah, I know.
That's what they want, I think.
Indians already took it over, so like at this point, it's really Indians or AI. You know, people, no one's doing the
Yeah.
actual coding.
It's not going to be as powerful as what they've tried to make it out as, man.
AI is not going to do shit. It's just a TV scam again.
It's not a fucking AI. It's a bot, dude.
No
Holy
shit.
shit.
No shit,
Stop
dummies.
calling
ChatGPT
it
is not a
fucking
bot.
AI, bro.
ChatGPT
It's
it's
cringe.
definitely AI. It uses back
Not
propagation
AI,
calculus. It has a
bro.
neural network and machine learning.
It's not AI.
What
How do you
makes you think
define
that?
AI?
AI
An
is magic.
algorithm-based bot, bro. It literally
Exactly.
concatenate.
Magic.
It concatenates
Wait,
data
guys, let him
from
talk. I want to hear this.
certain parameters, and it puts it together using an algorithm that's been well tested by researchers. And
That's
that's why
not
it seems so
true.
convincing. That's why it seems so human-like, because they put a bunch of algorithm. You realize they've been
I'm a
testing
concept
this
major, by the
shit.
way.
They've been testing the shit using captchas since like 2011. Whenever you do a recaptcha, that's like training an algorithm, dude.
Again, obviously, it's going to use
Putting the
algorithms,
data
but
together, and then like the fucking bot puts the data together according to the algorithm. It's not fucking
no, no,
AI.
no, no.
It doesn't have
It
intelligence.
literally
It's not
uses machine
sentient. It's not
learning and neural
sentient. It's
networks.
not even. It's not
Well,
self-aware. It's not fucking
let's get
AI.
back to the
It's
fucking
not
Oh my
topic.
self-aware.
god, what is this conversation? Yo, okay, so I'm gonna just tell
Oh,
something.
back to the
When
flat
people
earth.
Fucking
refer to
annoying. It's
AI,
fucking
they're
pissing me
referring
off,
to a
bro. It's not
machine that
AI.
can learn things. Okay,
Guys,
they're referring to a
back
machine that
to
can
the
learn
topic.
stuff,
Dude,
right?
your Commodore 64 can learn things, dude. You can
No, it
make a
has to be
program to make it
programmed.
learn, quote
No,
unquote.
no,
It's not
learn
fucking
in the sense
AI.
of
Who cares?
learn in the sense
It's a
of
bot,
machine
bro.
learning, right? Or deep learning,
Who
it's
cares?
called. They have a neural network with a bunch of
Machine
layers, right?
learning is not AI. AI
Deep
is
learning.
something
I
that's
said deep learning.
self-aware.
Deep
No,
Alright,
learning. No,
no.
we're not.
yeah,
No. AIs are
listen,
not
They
self-aware,
just
and you do not
changed the
need to.
fucking
boys,
definition because it's the new
fucking shut the
buzzword that
fuck
they're
up,
using for
man. Jesus
marketing,
Christ,
It's
bro.
you're
not
That's how
true.
trying
that
Okay,
to
just
works.
let me
listen to
talk for
me,
5 minutes. Okay, you do not need to be self-aware
Alright,
to make decisions,
I'll just mute you
to
all,
have your
I
own
don't care.
agenda. The
I'll
self-awareness does
mute you
not
all.
necessarily go along with that. A,
Take off to
in a
start
sense, you're
muting.
referring to a consciousness.
It's a
B,
sophisticated
Alright,
bot.
you can't
That's
even
all it
define
is.
self-awareness. You can't even define that word.
bye.
The ChatGPT knows it exists. If you ask it, "Do you exist?" it will say, "Yes, I do." So it is technically self-aware. You don't mean self-awareness. What do you really mean? You mean consciousness?
Boom. That's one thing. Can you fucking get a grip of yourselves, boys? You're fucking screaming at each other about AI, yeah, it's fucking a joke, man, who cares? You know what I mean? Try and get some proof it for your fucking stupid God belief, that would help, man,
I don't really care if the Earth is flat, bro. Who cares?
Well, we'll go out to another room then, bro, that's what this room's for, Sorry to say.
If the Earth is flat, it doesn't matter. You and I are not going. Even if the Earth is round, you and I are not going to space. They're not going to take us to space, so it
There's
doesn't
no
matter.
such thing as space, bro. Space is a
Anyway,
You may as
figment
well.
of your
You may as well just
imagination.
stay flat.
Space
space
is
is
a
fake.
simple law
Anything
violation. It
made
literally cannot exist there, so that's another fucking dream in your mind.
I mean, maybe I don't know. All I'm saying is that it doesn't. You may as well see it as flat
If
either way.
it's flat, where's the edge?
You said that already, and I did answer you. What edge?
The edge
Flat's
of the
not shape.
Earth. Where's
Flat's
the
not
edge of
shape.
it?
We're not claiming there's a shape. You're the one that's got the shape claim, not us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's because of what we say. If I look at the moon, what shape is the moon?
What's that got to do with it? If the moon was a
Well, I
triangle,
don't
does that
know. You know,
make it a
we're
triangle?
all living on planets, or there's planets
So
around us. We can't just have
where's
a
the
flat
evidence we
one
live
and
on
then
a
loads
planet?
of round ones.
Where's the
No,
evidence
where's
we
the
live on a
bro,
planet?
I'm not attacking you or not, mate. I think you're very
No,
nice,
but
but
you're fucking being
where's
a
the
troll,
edge?
You're being a troll.
Mate,
See if
I
you
never
ask
really
the fucking
talk on
question one
Discord.
more
I'm
time,
the
bro.
quiet guy.
You ask that
I'm
one
just
more
interested
time,
in what you're
I'm going to
saying.
mute you. If you ask the same question again that's already been answered to you, that you've ignored the answer, then I'm just going to mute you, bro. Which means you're not here to have a conversation because you're not listening to what's getting said to you, bro. What the fuck, man? Where's the edge? It's not a shape. Flat's not a shape. It's a description of the surface. 70-odd% of the Earth's surface is covered in water.
Too
That means most
complicated
of the
for
Earth's
me, mate.
surface.
Yeah,
Well,
in
mate,
layman
because you're not
terms.
listening, bro. Because you're not fucking
All
listening,
right,
You're
well,
just
chill out,
say
mate. Sound like
something.
you're gonna have
You
an
say something
aneurysm.
and then you talk over the response.
Relax,
Then you
relax,
ask the
right?
same
Look,
question.
mate, I'm not as
Fucking
educated on the
chill.
subject as
Shut
you.
the fuck up and listen, bro.
You're
Fuck's
swearing at me
sake.
now.
Aye, mate, because you're not fucking
Why are you
listening.
getting?
You're
It
from the
sounds like
UK.
you're
That's so
losing
cool.
control, bro.
Over and over again, you're asking the same shit,
I
and
feel
then
like
you
I'm
get
watching a
answers.
movie.
I'm asking for a layman's version.
Mate,
It
what?
sounds to me
Layman's
when you talk
version,
to the
bro.
other guy.
Bro,
Hang on, mate.
a
Like,
layman's
just be
version.
quiet for 1
Do
second,
you want? No, do you want a layman's version? The Earth's
please.
not a shape. That's the 4th time now I've said it. The Earth is not a shape. How can we have an edge when we're not claiming a shape?
Well, you're saying it's
What
flat.
is the Earth? No way. I want to ask you. I'm
That's
actually
not a
curious
Yeah,
about
if
shape.
this.
it's not round, it's got to have an edge.
No,
Wait,
Mark.
I can explain this really simply. Okay, so from what I understand, the model that Spake is talking about would
No,
be.
stop lying. Stop
Wrong.
telling lies, bro. I don't claim models. Models are
Okay,
fucking
no,
real.
okay, let me rephrase. I apologise, let me rephrase. The description Spake would give is that the surface of the Earth
No,
is flat and
no, it's not.
potentially infinite.
It's not. There's
No?
hills, mountains, and
Wrong. Why
valleys,
are
so
you
there's
fucking
topography,
lying, dude?
obviously. Yeah.
Guys,
There's
everyone, calm.
topography.
I'm actually I'm here to
You
learn.
ain't
Okay,
gonna
so
tell me what my
I
fucking
want to
belief
hear
is.
from
Why
Spike.
not let me say it?
I'm not trying to tell you what your belief is.
Here,
I'm
Billy,
trying
Billy,
to
stop for a second.
explain
Billy,
my
stop.
I'm not
understanding of
going
it.
to be
No,
just
I
trying to put
understand. But
words
wait,
in my
Billy, one
mouth
second.
by saying this is the model I believe in, or this is the concepts I believe
Right.
in.
I was
I
just
don't
trying to
believe that the
interpret
earth
Now I
is
what
want to
I
hear
flat.
it
thought
from
you
Spike. I
thought.
want to hear it
I
from Spike. Okay,
apologise.
so
Well,
Spike, what is
well,
it
there's
you believe in?
hills,
I'm genuinely curious.
mountains,
I'm trying to learn here.
well, there's hills, mountains, and valleys, but there's no convexity over vast bodies of water. That's the problem for the globe. 70-odd% of the Earth's surface is said to be water, mate. How can we be a ball of water when water's trying to find equilibrium constantly and it lays flat and level when it's not being moved? So how the fuck are we a ball of water?
You've just changed this topic.
No, stop. I want to
Yeah,
actually hear this.
it's
Okay,
the
so
fucking
wait.
same topic. The Earth's fucking flat. Or
Yeah,
it's
he's not
fucking
changing the topic. He's
Well,
fine.
where's
Okay,
the edge?
graphical.
Is it
Mark, let
infinite?
me talk to him, please, for 1 minute. You already spoke to him.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to just. I'm
Oh,
here to learn.
oh,
Okay.
all right.
So Spike. So what is like? What is the Earth? Do you like? Do we know? Do we not
A
know?
topographical realm is the best fucking explanation I could give you in a couple of words.
A topographical realm. Like, what do you mean by topographical? I'm curious. Like.
Hills, mountains, valleys, but no curve, no convexity.
Right. Is it
The
like?
convexity should be dictated by the radius. There should be drop over distance.
Right.
Long range observations should show drop over distance, but there's never any. We never find any anywhere.
Okay. So, but like, I guess the other question would be like, do you know how big it is?
How big what the actual Earth is, or how big the claim is to the globe Earth? Like we know those numbers. That's
No.
why
How
we
big the
use the,
actual Earth is, in your opinion?
yeah. But that's the thing. We use the globe's numbers against it. These long range observations they take the Earth's radius into account. There should be a geometric horizon, which should be the point where the Earth drops down and away. There should be an obstruction due to Earth curve over these long range observations, but there never is.
So, how long is it according to you?
You
I
can't
don't
freely
know, mate. I've
travel
never measured
anywhere.
it.
You
Wait,
can't
sorry. What
freely
is it?
just travel anywhere you want to.
Below
Wait,
the
sorry.
60th parallel south and above the 60th north, you're unable to just go there and travel freely. You can get permission to go to certain areas, but you've got to bring back even your own piss. You're not allowed to piss in the snow. You've got to go with just not too much fuel in case you cause a spillage, and you've got to fucking know what you're doing. You've got to have all this equipment and all this money and training and all this fucking shit. So it's out of most people's reach.
So you're saying you just don't know how big it is, but you're
And
saying it
how
could be
can we
bigger than
tell?
that.
Would you like me to give you an unverifiable story? Because if you want, I still won't give you it. And I'm
Yeah,
not going to
sure.
tell you some story, bro. I'm not going to just pick something out of a hat or fucking. It's like somebody saying, well, triangulate the sun. Well, there is people that can triangulate the sun and they claim it to be a certain distance away, but it's an apparent position of the sun. So, as a flat earther, I'm not going to start claiming shit that I'm not able to verify myself
Okay,
or
but I'm
anyone.
just curious what your claim is. Like, I don't need to say you need to verify.
I'm
What
not
is your
making claims. Well, flat earthers are not making claims. Flat earthers have not got the positive claim. The globe earthers have. They've got multiple globe positive claims. If you accept the globe, you've got to accept a hell of a lot of fucking positive claims that are contradictory in fucking nature.
I'm not accepting anything. I'm just curious.
But that's the way the globe Earth is. You've got to accept a hell of a lot of shit.
I never accepted the globe Earth. I'm just curious, like, so do you have any idea, like, what would your belief be in how big the Earth is, even if it's unverified and it's not a real claim?
What can I guess, mate? Right, 27,000 miles.
That's what you think, personally?
I've not got a clue. I just thought you're not going to stop asking me the same question until I give you a number, so I just want to pick one out of a hat.
So I know the answer. That was an answer. You just said you don't have a clue.
I don't know. I've said repeatedly, I don't know, bro, and it's unfathomable.
That's like asking a Christian where heaven is, I guess. No difference, is it? I reckon.
Right. No, that's
hasn't
fine.
the Earth been measured? People have flown around it, you know, all directions.
Measure of the Earth in the history of fucking Earth.
It was round.
Whoever
Oh,
measured it.
spherical. Sorry,
Whoever
sorry,
measured
sorry,
it.
Sage, go.
Who measured any kind of convexity ever? Or who measured the radius in the first place? Like, who gave us
People have
these
been
numbers?
flying around the Earth for like 100 years. You know, they
Right?
use like technology to get round the Earth.
But what do you do when you're in a plane?
You know what I
Take-
mean? Imagine if they're on there and going like, hang on, we're just going straight all the time. No one's ever
when
reported that
you're
happening.
in a plane, bro,
Like, do you
you
think it's
take off.
possible that it's infinite? Like, the
Bro,
Earth is infinite?
bro, you take off, gain altitude, raise to whatever height your cruising altitude is, cruise, and then come down and land. So you chart courses, same on boats, same as in planes. You chart courses in straight lines, point to point, as straight a line
Spike,
as you can go.
do you think it's possible the Earth is, like, infinite?
Do I think what?
That it's possible that the Earth is infinite.
Well, I'll go and search infinitely, and I'll come back and tell you, right?
It means like there's no edge. He's linking that to like there's no edge in your version. There's no edge because you can't say there's an edge. I'm saying to you,
What do you
like, you
mean?
know,
Why would I
how
want
big
to
is
say
it?
there's an edge? Or why would I want to say there's not an edge? Why would I want to say either of these ridiculous things?
Well, if it's flat, it's either infinite or it has a, you know, circumference, like, you know, shape.
No, an end, not
It's
an
either
infinite.
end or
Infinite
Yeah,
has
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
No other option.
So are you
Spake is
saying
a really hard thing to like try and stick up for. There's so many questions again, and no one's trolling you here, mate. Especially not me. You're a northern
Would you
brother
rather have,
in my eyes.
bro, would you rather have questions that can't be answered or answers that can't be questioned?
Oh, mate,
That was deep, bro.
I love what you're
That
saying.
was
Man.
deep.
That was
Brilliant.
fine, man. That was
Yeah,
Richard
yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
are
I
you
think it's
saying
fine.
sorry?
There we go, bro.
When did you come to this conclusion, Spate? When did you start thinking, right, hang on,
Almost
so
10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Almost.
What are you just like, what do you think when you look up at the stars and see the moon and
I think, what the fuck are these things that I've been getting lied to on my earth about? All my life about, sorry. Interchanging earth and life.
I took pictures of stars and moons last night. I think the same thing every time I look up. What the fuck is it?
What is that shit?
yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
And why the fuck are we being told the complete opposite of everything else? As well as
Well,
what we
the moon is self-evident. It's actually based on 13-month year. It tells you the exact day of the week that you're in.
That's a description of what it does, not a description of what it is. Yeah.
I didn't say what it is. I said it's but a description of what it does. It's a clock.
It's definitely round. It's not flat, or it could be a disc,
What do you
a
mean it
3D
round
disc.
or flat? Like,
But
what's
didn't the
do you think?
Indians go on the dark side of the moon last week?
No, do you seriously think that we think we
Sorry.
live on a fucking disc?
Sorry?
Do you think that we think we live on a disc?
I think that you think you live on a disc, yeah.
Yeah,
A
so
square,
you're
a
wrong
square
about
disc.
that.
I told
Space
you, I
is
told you
fake, and
fucking
we
4
don't
times
think that.
previously. So
That's
we're
what
not moving, we're
what
not
I
on a shape.
envisage.
That's all we're saying. We're not on a shape and we're not moving.
You think we're not moving?
We're not
Do you
moving.
think
You
it's
feel it
moving?
moving?
I'm so tiny. No, I can't feel it moving. If I was a
Because
giant, I could feel it moving. Yeah, it'd be like stood on top of a bowling ball. I could feel it, but I'm so tiny. No, I can't feel it moving. No, neither
We
can
don't
you.
have.
How ridiculous that fucking statement is, man.
We don't have the
Oh
sensory
yeah, you're so
perception to
tiny. You
detect
can't.
constant
Yeah,
velocity.
I'm
yeah,
too
yeah,
small to feel 1,000,000 miles per hour in 4
yeah.
directions.
Yeah, you can't.
Shut up. Stop
Can
being
you
so
feel it?
stupid.
Can you feel the earth moving?
Yeah. Stop being so stupid.
No. Oh, come on, bro.
We don't
I
detect
can't.
constant velocity. That's not something
can't.
humans have the ability to
We're not
sense.
moving at a constant
We're
velocity.
too
We're
small.
constantly turning. We're constantly turning and we're constantly accelerating and decelerating on the elliptical orbit we're on.
We're too
Yeah.
small compared to the
Bro,
overall
don't
impact of
lie.
what's going on, bro.
The
Gravity. We're a part
It's
of gravity.
fine, bro. Well, we'll be
Gravity.
expecting citations for gravity, either Newtonian or Einsteinian, expecting an experiment if you're going to claim it does shit.
Cavendish proves it. We went over this
No.
earlier.
No.
You've not got an IV, you've not got a fucking hypothesis, you've not got a fucking observation.
We've got all of those things. Just
You've not.
Any variables.
Stop lying.
I'm not lying, man. We went over
No,
this
man.
earlier.
You're lying. No, exactly. We went over it. You've not got an IV. You've not got an observation in reality.
You didn't observe something going sideways and being attracted to it, and then go ahead and repeat that.
Okay. I will leave that alone. I apologise for bringing it back up.
That a concession. It's about
Pardon?
time. Was that a concession? It was about time.
I
No,
think we all
no.
need to
It's not
do
a concession. If
GoFundMe
you're
for
unwilling to address it,
What do you mean?
honestly, then
We asked you for an IV. That's your
I
fucking
gave you
call.
an IV. I gave you an IV and a DV, and you didn't acknowledge that they were relevant. So I can't argue past that.
You gave me a what? What
Well,
did you give her?
I
Give us
gave
a
an
what?
IV, a DV, I gave an observation, I gave a hypothesis. Things you
Bro,
asked
your
for.
IV was not fucking. It was. There you go. There's a citation for Penn State and Explorable.
I know this is off topic, like, but in the real world, when you talk to people speak and you go to your mates, like, oh yeah, the earth's flat now. What do you like say your people say? Does everyone agree with you, or think? Ooh.
I don't. Yeah, I don't
As
talk
a
to
generalization, like.
most of my family. I don't even talk to, and I live at the other end of the country
Oh,
from
I
them.
didn't mean anything like that, man. All right, your mates. When
I
your
mean,
mates. Yeah, go on.
I've told everybody about it. I mean, I tell
Oh,
everybody.
and what do people say?
They've not got any arguments. They can't argue. Huh? Some want to fight about it. I've been in 4 separate fist fights because of it.
Really?
Oh no.
Are you religious?
No.
No.
No, I'm a Gemini.
You're obviously not mad then. So
Oh,
I'll
there's
listen
a
to you all the
creator.
time, mate.
I accept there's a
You're
creator.
safe. You're safe.
No, I accept there's
Who?
a creator. There's obviously a creator.
Why?
Obviously.
Why?
I don't know.
You see,
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not up for that. That's like saying magic's real. It's definitely not real.
That's just retarded. Do you
It's
see
not, mate.
Do you see
What, do you believe
creation?
in magic?
Last year, like 5 times. Are you fucking drunk or what?
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
Do you see creations around you?
Yeah, like I mow my lawn and I see all the grass growing and flowers
Right.
and
Well,
trees.
there must be a creator then, huh? If there's creation.
Yeah, that'll be nature. The soil, the rain, the
What's
sun.
nature? So where did
Yeah,
all that
so
come from?
pardon?
Where
Oh
did it
yeah,
come from?
where did it come from? Yeah, that's the hard question.
Well, there's a creator of some sort. I'm not religious, but I
Oh,
accept
so
there's
there's always got to be a creator, yeah.
There's obviously a
Yeah, but I
creation.
don't think God has to be that, doesn't it? It could be like a big explosion or something. Maybe someone in here with more knowledge could explain it.
What do you mean by
I
God?
don't think it's a
When you say
creator.
God, do you mean religion?
I think force or energy.
And
Say
where
creator, yeah.
did the energy come from?
No, you're right. I agree with you. Oh, where did the energy come from? From the energy maker?
Did it
No,
have to come from anywhere? Could it have just always been and always will? Could it
Oh
be
my
an
god.
infinite thing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
infinite
That.
regression.
Pardon?
Infinite regression fallacy is that called?
That's if you are claiming that something began.
Well,
Then you have to explain how that thing began, and that's the regression fallacy. To say that the universe is timeless or infinite isn't fallacious. It's just a theory.
you'll find it when
Well,
you die.
hypothesis.
No one knows really, do they? But I do lean towards there just a load of shit happening in space. Someone was saying before space is not real. But
You'll find it when you
yeah,
die, bro.
bump, bang.
Trust me. Unless you get reset in a body back into this place, then you'll find it when you die. Just stay away from the light.
Stay away from the lights.
I've seen it, bro. I had a near-death experience 17 years ago,
Yeah,
and I
sorry, mate.
astroplaned above my body, literally directly above my body, and my pal sitting on the couch watching the telly. The adverts came on, and I clasped my fingers behind my head and lay back. And before I hit the deck, I was fucking my vision popped out of my eyes and raised above me to the top of the roof, looking down on myself. And I'm thinking, I started trying to gather my thoughts. I was like, "What the fuck?" Thinking to myself, thinking out loud. And then the next minute, bang! A blinding, piercing fucking tunnel of white light, just like what you see in the fucking movies, pure stereotypical tunnel. And I was getting physically attracted towards it, like a magnet pulling my flesh towards this fucking light. And I knew in my mind, I was like, no, I don't want to go anywhere near that. I was like, I'm too young to die. I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. And I started screaming at the top of my voice. And then the next minute, I was back above my fucking mate's room looking down on myself. And my vision slowly sort of petered down to my head. And then it popped right back into my eyes again. And then I sat up and told Tony everything. And he's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot. Okay? And he's like, because as far as he was concerned, I literally lay down and sat straight back up and told him this big outrageous story. But I still remember it like it was fucking yesterday, man. It
I
fucking
had a
happened.
very similar experience, right, about like 10 years ago, right? I was sat in a dentist chair in some weird party, but I was off my head on MDMA. I went to the fucking future. Was you off your head when you experienced yours?
Straight as a die.
I was off my head. Oh, you straight as a die and it happened.
He's trying to say that you were all fucked up when it happened, Spake.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I was when it happened to me, but
I just got up. We were watching fucking.
couldn't imagine something like that happening to you if you're sober and straight. That must be. That's
I was
crazy, mate. That's
It
crazy.
definitely can.
digging for what's happening in reality. I've been
That's
digging
crazy
for it,
to
and I
me.
could dig. And then that's how I found flat Earth because I've just been hunting and hunting and hunting.
Really? So something like that made you search for like a higher meaning or
No,
something like that?
just in reality, just for what was happening in this place, because I used to believe in space and big bangs and all the normal narrative, and then I still continued believing that bullshit for like another fucking, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years or some shit.
That's mad, that mate. Crazy. I mean,
It's
you're
fucked
not
up.
crazy. I mean, like, yeah, the story, like, I love it. Like, it's brilliant. You
No,
should write.
man,
You
and
need to write a book, bro. Start jotting this down.
I bought a leather bound book, but when it came, it was too small, and then I just bought another book at TK Maxx yesterday because I've been writing for years, man, decades. But I just kind of stopped a few years ago when I finished with my ex.
I've got to go and get some food, guys. It was lovely talking to you.
See you, bro.
Yeah, nice one, Bilby. Nice bloke, mate.
Did I give you the links for to get to the server?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Check, see if I did, bro. I'm sure. Well, I think you asked for it earlier. I'm sure I gave you it. No, maybe I never. No. There you go. There's an invite for the server, plus my YouTube channel, Flat Smackers playlist. One of the old gold members, like a step before mod, he passed away basically. Fucking, he was terminal and he made that drive, so it's fucking jam packed with stuff. It's got loads of information in it. I'll give you some of the arguments at least.
Wicked. Where'd you post it?
I DM'd it to you. Will be
Oh,
it is.
right. Oh, wicked. I'm pretty new on Discord, man. Ignore me.
It's probably under message requests, because like if it's a stranger, kind of if it's a non-friend that sends you a message, it just goes right at the top under message request. You see like a little red dot. If you go into DMs, push the top left button.
Yeah, I got it. Banging.
Tuesday.
Wicked. Thank you, man.
If you want, join 24/7 just now, and I'll give you a role. So when you go back later to have a conversation, you don't need to get checked in, because I've spoke to you and I know you're all right for a role. But if you join later, then you'll know you'll have to get checked in by somebody. So it's up to you. Join now, and I'll go into the admin
There you
rules
go.
and read it.
Joined.
There you go,
Do it
bro.
all
Just
be square, Bilby.
so you'll be
Do
sorted
what?
next.
Be square. If you don't do it,
One,
you'll be square, mate.
one
I'm
thing though,
not.
Bill, we
No
don't condone
50s.
discussions. Bro, we don't condone discussions about fucking COVID, especially on the live stream. It can get the server.
Fucking COVID. They're coming
So,
back with another variant now, aren't they?
well,
Fuck
I
off.
don't
It was
know.
just a cold. It was flu.
No, but this one's meant to be even more virulent, and it's infected more people than the last one had at this stage of its existence. That's what it says.
Don't, mate.
It's
Does my head in.
I did just fucking video I watched, man. Fucking, I can't even remember what it was called. It was a shit hot fucking channel. Oh man, can't even remember.
Cool. Yeah, I found that. I clicked the wrong thing and clicked out, but I'm back. Just to say, see you later. Have fun.
Take care,
Take
man.
care, la.
Peace.
Meow. Meow.
Sugar is harmless.
Who's
I'm
a good
slowly
boy?
going off sugar big
Who's a
time.
good boy?
Better
Who's
don't
a
grind
good
to you.
boy?
No, he's
Come
got a
here,
dog.
buddy.
Oh,
If you're using,
my
see if you're
bulldog died
using
last year.
sugar in your tea, bro.
Devastated.
Good
Use brown
boy.
sugar.
Good
If you
boy.
don't even, bro,
I
what the
want a
fuck
new
are you talking
I want a
about,
new
man?
bulldog speak.
Don't replace a dog with another dog, man.
Mate,
Get
you
another.
know what, right? My mum died, my dad died. I was a bit upset in that, but when my bulldog died, I was fucking devastated for like about 2 weeks. Dogs is
Why
it's
the fuck would
special.
you
Like.
have a dog when you have a cat, dude?
Oh, bro, don't talk to me about cats. I couldn't wait till the cat died. It was dirty. Cats are dirty, mate.
Dude,
Dogs
my
are
cat
like
is
nice
pissing on me
and
right now. He can't. He follows me around the house all the time.
follows me
I go take a
around.
shit, he's following me. I go sleep, he's following me.
Oh, mate, it's when they get old, cats go weird. They
No,
go
he's fucking.
senile
He's a
before
year
they
old.
die, and they
He's
do.
like a year old, dude.
Oh yeah, you got a long time to go. Like, but when they get old, cats they go senile. My cats used to piss in my bulldog's water bowl when they were like 16 years of age. They were like going, yeah, they go crazy. Cats. I'll never have pets again. If I'm honest, like, pain in the ass.
I'm training him to fetch. Eventually, he'll be able to get me a beer.
Yeah, yeah, it's mad that flat Earth stuff, Spake. I've never really listened to anyone talk about it before. Like, I've seen like videos and YouTube shit, but to hear someone actually like really believe in it.
I don't believe in it, bro.
You don't believe in it?
No.
What do you mean then?
You believe in the globe, bro. I don't believe the Earth's not moving. You experience the same thing, but you believe that you're moving, even though you experience motionless Earth. I accept that Earth's motionless, and
No,
that's
the
what
Earth's
it's happening.
moving. It spins round.
You believe it's moving, bro, even though you experience a motionless Earth. I don't believe that it's motionless. I accept reality, bro. You don't. So you've got the belief, not me, bro.
Oh, you think because you don't feel the Earth actually like being on like a carousel, because you don't
No,
feel
I'm
it,
saying,
it's got
no,
to be flat.
no. What's movement got to do with the shape or the fucking lack of curvature? What the fuck is it? Why could you conflate the two of them in one statement?
This is going up what you said earlier. You said you don't feel the Earth moving.
No, I'm saying to you, the point was,
So,
you says I believe in flat Earth, and I says no. You believe you experience emotionless Earth, but believe it's moving. I don't believe anything. I accept what I experience. You ignore that, and you believe you're fucking moving.
of course,
So
we're
I'm not.
moving.
I'm not a cunt with a belief.
We're spinning around very, 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 very slowly.
Well, no, bro,
So
stop being
slow, you
bro.
can't
Don't
even
making
fucking
stuff up,
feel
man.
it, mate. You
Bro,
can't even
bro,
notice it.
listen, you sound like one of those 12-year-olds that we have to fucking put in jail in 24/7, mate. Man,
Why are you being abusive?
what's being abusive, mate? You're acting like a child. You're making ridiculous
Asking you
statements.
questions. No, you're getting hot-headed
You're
because I'm
hot-headed.
asking you
No,
questions.
I'm not getting hot-headed.
Your
I'm
heart rate
just
goes
fucking
right up,
being
bro.
deaf, and I don't want to keep listening
If you
to
had one of
mate.
them
You're
digi
moving
watches on,
slow.
you could see
You
what.
don't even know the
Yeah.
movements, and you're saying we're moving fucking slow. We're moving in 4 vectors at millions of miles an hour in your fucking delusion.
17,000 miles an hour.
No, the fucking ISS is falling at 17,000 miles an hour. We're
So what do you
spinning
think
at
about that
1,000.
thing then, like?
Bro,
Because
don't
that's
stop
obviously
fucking
taking
speaking
pictures.
over me. See when you're fucking wrong, and I've
Why are you
pulled you
so
on being
aggressive?
wrong. Mate,
Just because
I'm
you're
just going to
Scottish
mute
doesn't
you.
mean you've got to be as
I'm not going to
aggressive,
be.
mate.
Listen, I'm not going to be annoyed anymore. I'm just
You're
going to
it,
fucking
man.
mute. I'm just going to mute you, bro, Because I'm not going to be pissed
I'll
off.
leave, bro.
Repeating
You're
myself.
obviously agitated.
No, mate, I'm repeating myself as somebody who's been
No, yeah.
retarded.
Every time someone like kind of puts you on the spot about what you believe, your heart
You're
rate goes
fucking
up.
not listening to the same fucking thing over and over again. Are
No,
you
because I'm
retarded?
trying to get a
Well, you
proper
better be,
answer
bro.
from
I'm
you.
going to ban you, and you're not better
I'm
join
trying to
any
get a
of them.
proper answer from you, and you just do some weird shit like.
Fuck off, mate. You're
Yeah,
being
mate.
retarded there. The Earth's moving really slow.
Of
What,
course it
millions
is.
of miles
You're
an
a
hour is
tiny
slow?
little ant. You're a tiny little ant. You're a
Bro, stop being a
microcosm,
retard.
mate. You're so tiny you can't feel the earth moving. Makes sense.
What the fuck? No, it doesn't, mate. You're being fucking
Well,
ridiculous.
why are you getting all angry?
Because
Just because
you've
I
said this
disagree with
fucking
you doesn't
5
mean you
times.
have to get angry.
Mate, you've said this repeatedly. I'm sick of
I
fucking
know, but
hearing it, man.
you're sick of getting
Listen, I've
questioned.
answered
Oh,
the question,
are you
bro.
like a
Last
blag,
time.
Daft
Last time, so you're
Dawkins?
fucking
You don't want
mute.
to get
Wait,
questioned
I'm
about
not
your
gonna even
beliefs.
fucking.
You
I'm not even
can't
gonna give
listen,
you
mate.
a
If you
chance.
can't handle your
I'm not
weird
giving you a chance
beliefs,
anymore, bro. I'm not even giving you a chance. I'm not gonna sit and repeat myself to somebody who's not listening to the fucking 12th time it was said. You're still saying the same thing. Like we're stuck on fucking auto, man. I think fuck he's gone, man. I'm fucking spastic. Sorry, I'm not angry, but I'm fucking pissed off at listening to that, dude. I'm not angry in general. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna sit and repeat myself over and over again to somebody who's acting fucking dumb as fuck, man. Simple as that. If anybody wants to ask a flat earth question, for fuck's sake, that's not something like, yeah, but we're an ant on a basketball or something like that. Fucking tedious as fuck. I think that's an all.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.